Fam, this is the legit 12-hour streaming horse. Whoever hit next comment, say legit horse. Fam gets pinned. So, guys, I had a really important small meeting to take, and it was sudden. I was not prepared, but now we're back. Urs, welcome to the fam. Urs says, Vovo Gaming, what is that, Urs? And Roshan says, slot there. Yes, Roshan, there is a slot. So let's start playing. Critic says, mad respects her horse. Thank you, bro. Let's begin the party. Are these guys in a game? No, I'm in the party. We've got one slot. Oh shit, game client is out of date. I'm joining Canton. Chris says, you have earned a lifetime like. Holy shit. Thank you for the love, guys. Turn the stream back on. R says, try to party, but you decline. No, because my Dota is restarting. I have to update my dots. It's a download, and I haven't restarted in a couple of minutes. Also, Urs, what is your friend ID? Which one are you? So, what got me occupied? A tough conversation uh, that had to be had. Yes, of course, Canton, let's go. A tough conversation about something that was like a make or break moment for a friendship. Very, very tough conversation. Not scolding, but rather just expressing something very personal, like that. Invite me. Okay, we can join Canton and everybody else here. So basically, I recently reconnected with my friends, right? And what caught me, I wanted to reconnect with one friend, but that one friend is like the friend hub. He is. He had the rest of my um, old friends there as well. I think this is about to be a three-man. Yeah, so it's the same friend from a couple of days ago that I met after 7 years, and basically I went to his place first day. It was what it was. It was a reconnect after a long time. It was a bit draining as well. We're still figuring how things are, and then the next day I went again, but I also met a couple of my very old friends. I mean, friends in the sense that they were once friends, like people from my school or my class, even one from my kindergarten class who had been through, but 7 years ago I had taken a complete break from all of my friends and started over for some reasons. Started my whole life over. And that's when I discovered my real self. So this, there were four of these guys and my friend, the one that I now can call a friend. I went there and they were all leaving, but one stayed. And that one that stayed, I'd already learned, had a lot of malice in his heart towards me. And he was part of the reason why I had to leave my friends group because at that time it wasn't so obvious that it got over the years, but he created a lot of issues in a way that I had to distance myself. So he was there. And he said something 7 years later, he's met me and he said something very nasty. And the guy I call my friend, he's just unbiased listening to this, and he's like, "You maybe guys need to just clarify things between you guys." And he just stood unbiased, and some nasty stuff was said. He even tried to say something from the past in attempts to humiliate me. And even though I'm all for roasting when it's my real friends, I'm all for roasting. I have no boundaries, but there are still things. So anything personal, professional goes, but then there are things that can harm the dignity of a person. And we've all been through traumatic experiences like that. And this one, he tried to bring something very personal to me up, just an attempt to humiliate me for no reason, trying to get the feeling of trying to be superior or something. And my friend, he played it off and we moved on. But I wanted to confront my friend about this. I wanted to ask him that this guy, he has done this, and even though we have reconnected after 7 years, I have reconnected with a certain set of standards in my mind. And it means that if it's very clear to me that this guy is malicious towards me, it's apparent to you. And I don't want to impose myself or anything on my friendship, but my expectation would be that unsaid, unspoken, loyalty is part of the deal, which would mean that if somebody is not good to you, I wouldn't stay in touch with them, and vice versa. Now, the problem was this person who is the malicious person, he's very manipulative, and he's also been through um, a chronic illness like cancer. So there was a soft spot for him from me and from my friend that he took advantage of. Regardless of us putting behind everything about him, he still tried to play it because he's been through one of those kinds that people don't usually share, like uh, something like a prostate or a testicular or something that people don't generally share. But I found out about it from somewhere else, and my friend already knew it because of other reasons. And we don't bring these kind of things up, or other personal things about him that we know about. But he took advantage of all of it. So critics say you were expecting more from that friend of yours to not be best. No, I was expecting from my friend that if he understands, and I know that he does. This is why we're friends. I know he's smart enough, he's mature enough to understand that what was said in attempt to humiliate me was not something that should be taken as a joke. Between us, there are no limits on roasting, on jokes, and like that. But there is a difference in something being criminal, something being
10
traumatic
seconds
that
remaining.
somebody goes through versus something that's not.
5.
I'm a Pakistani American. So I didn't expect anything from my friend right now, but I did at that time expect that there would be some understanding of the fact that as a group we shouldn't be making fun of things that are that personal to somebody, and that if my friend group, or supposedly my supposed friend group, can laugh at something like this, then I don't support that as a person,
5
be it
seconds
me or be it
remaining.
anybody else. I think that is um, just not right. So that's one thing I wanted to speak to him about. And right, like let's say somebody had been through a criminal kind of bullying in a way, or of the likes, right? Somebody has been through harassment, somebody has been through worse things, or on these kind of lines. And if you share that in confidence with a friend of yours, and they try to make a joke out of it, trying to humiliate you. So imagine somebody meets you 7 years later and they're like, remember when you were seven, this happened, and or like, remember when you were in seventh grade. Dude, firstly, something criminal, something like assault, something like, of that sort, it's not a joke. And if you think at the age of 32, um, saying something like that makes you feel better about yourself, if I didn't know that you were going through such a disease, and if I didn't have the courtesy in me to have manners and civility or respect for this friend of mine whose house I'm sitting at, out of respect for that, I would have smacked your face into the ground, you know. But my problem was I've already cut this person out of my life. I'll cut them out of my life again. It was the right decision to keep them out before, and it is the right decision to reinforce that decision even now. But where does my friend stand on that? If he's my friend, to continue to be my friend, there has to be a certain core of sincerity, which is there, but without loyalty, it's nothing. So I thought about if I should even have this conversation with my friend, or if I should just take it as a message that as a group we're just fine with such kind of things. And then I spoke to him. We were on the same page about it. He understood the gravity of it. Um, and he had the same views about this person that I did. So I was like, you have the same views, I get it. But what is your decision about it? Do you have the same views, but you still want him to be around? Do you have just because we know him since 20, 25 years? Or do you have the same views, but you don't want him around? Do you have this? What is your take on this? That if somebody wrongs my friend, should I still be associating with them? You know, and I told him that the only reason I'm sharing this is because, just like last time or the time before that, I don't want to disappear from your life for 7 years. Rather, I've changed this time. I'm not bottling things up anymore. I know it's tough for me to talk about this. It's tough for us probably to talk about this, but I want to talk about these things so that that doesn't happen for good or for bad. We either work through this, we don't, we get on the same page or we don't, but I'm not going to disappear this time without saying my piece. And this, and the likes of this thing is the reason that I've already, once separated myself and distanced myself from the group. So then we got to talking about it. It turned out that me and my friend were on the same page. He understood. He told me his side of the thing, and it all made sense. And it was a tough conversation to have because it was something that I had recently only processed myself, and I'm glad to know that out of when the dust has settled, I can say that I have a friend that maybe I'll even make more because there are people unlike that one person who tried to humiliate me who did want to see me, but just because I was going through a bad time and I wanted my space to deal with it, I took it. And my friend wanted his wife to meet my wife, and we wanted to go on a double date and stuff. And in my mind, I was thinking, when this thing happened, that how could I do that, knowing that this kind of thing has been said or not dealt with. But after we talked about it, I was very happy. I was very happy to know that everything is on track. It's not just me that's changed; it's my friend that's who's also grown up enough to handle the weight of my friendship. And I was very happy about it. Roshan says, me and our friends play ranked for going down the rank. Too old to be climbing ranks. I totally understand that, bro. And he says, games are fun now. That's the spirit, bro. That's what I'm talking about. I always wanted my fam to understand that friendship is important. And you have fun experiencing these adventures with your friends. And put that first. MMR comes and goes. And it will come. When when you're playing for fun with your friends, even when you're making stupid builds, trust me, you're going to end up winning the games. We're planning to go to the US, and 7 years ago I'd come back to Pakistan from the US and I'd started over, and I'd left all my friends as well, even the ones in Pakistan, the ones I knew from school times, and I'd completely just taken a clean slate and built my life up from there for reasons. So now that we're planning to go back, I wanted to confront anything that I just escaped from in my past. That I felt like would make me stronger if I rather take those things head on rather than escaping. So this is part of that process. And Chris as well, what he did was uncalled for. I get that he used that opportunity to bring out past or whatever, but what I didn't understand was his bias stand maybe wasn't needed at that time because children and what you just said is not okay. And if you're here to talk about something that has nothing to do with anyone now, then you can leave and I'll call you later. But this is not the place and time. And if someone brings out something uncalled and makes the environment bad, then you don't bring two people to sort it out. You take the first guy to the corner who started it and tell him that we are not exactly. So I feel like the journey that I've taken has made me a little more understanding of people, of you know, like we talked about laying down boundaries. Even at some point, maybe at this point, even being empathetic a little bit. Understanding uh, the concept of respect, the concept of love, and I think the message came out in wrong on it. Okay, let me see that. So, if someone brings something out uncalled and makes the environment bad, then you don't bring two people to sort it out. You take the first guy to the corner who started and tell him that we are not children, and what you just said is not okay. And if you're not here to talk about something that has nothing to do with anyone now, then you can leave. I'll call you later, but this is not the place and time. Well, what we did was uncalled for. I get that, and he used it exactly. So you're right about this, and this is exactly what we spoke about right now. That we're not children anymore, and what he said was uncalled for, and he will be confronted. I told my friend I don't really care about confronting him about this. If you want to, you can do it on your own time. But to be honest, I just want that if somebody has shown enough, because then he shared his experiences with this guy, and he was like, I've only met him 3 times in the last 7 years myself, and he has done this same kind of deceptive bullshit to me as well. I'm not very keen towards him as well. The only reason I met him because he came to me and he told me about his condition as well. So when he was being all that emotional and this and that, I thought maybe to give him a chance. And Chris says I faced something similar, and it feels like a sabotage exactly. So he didn't really have a part in it. Like I think he also, in a way, was seeing the side of that friend for the first time. Because usually these kind of people, they're very deceptive. They never show it. He didn't know this guy who was transgressing. He didn't know that I would be there. When I was there, he was startled. And then he was caught off guard. And then when I confronted him with all of those things, he showed a bit of his true self accidentally, I guess. And just like when you catch a liar off guard and they start acting out and they start getting angry about things sometimes or behave differently, he did all of that. And Chris is like, it's like you want to put your truth out as well and speak on same tone or humor, but it's useless and you'll just look at him exactly. So I did that. I'm never gonna let anybody think or even really have any power over me. My experiences, I use my experiences as empowerment. I use them as strength. I have dealt with things that people are afraid to even talk about because they think that, or they know that they'll get judged a certain way or they'll get bullied about those things. But this is more about him than me, and that's how I take it. And Chris, remember, I don't take sides with people. I let them fight their own battles. But this is one of those scenarios that I don't let one guy using a specific time and bully someone exactly. So it's he did that in his way. He moved the conversation on wherever this guy was trying to take the conversation at the wrong place. Maybe in his mind, in my friend's mind, he still had this thing that he thought that at some point he will, or this guy will, sort of be in that same kind of vibe that we are. Friends meeting after a long time, putting past behind, seeing each other in a new light with the new progress, with the new details, and be proud of each other, and all of that, as should be mostly. It's more rare to actually find people of this kind of evil inside, but it's good in a way that maybe my friend needed a bit more demonstration and understanding about somebody who has a personality like this. Now, my experiences in Rotary and my experiences in generally with life, have being the fact that I've stayed alone in the US for a whole 10 years, are much different than my friend who spent most of his life in Pakistan, but recently, for the last 4 years now, he's living in the UK. So maybe now he can see those things better. But still, um, I think somehow over time I've become a decent judge of people. Decent. I've got a decent understanding of characters. I have stopped giving people, benefits of doubt for no reason. If people deserve it, yeah, And the way we, even on stream, the way we talk, the way we analyze things, I think together we have evolved especially about, our way of dealing and understanding people. And Chris's horse, I'll just tell you one thing. It shows his character, nothing less. A mature, educated person meeting someone from past, no matter how bad things ended, would meet fresh and good intentions. Exactly. So my whole problem was that I was just thinking, does that mean that this whole group is going to be like that immature? Are they still at the same place? Are they still going to be? I mean, I don't want to be associated with people who take such things like that. Now, I don't care enough if they're smoking or they're drinking or whatever else. If they would do, I don't care for it. I know how to handle my own. I know my boundaries. I know my decisions. I know what I stand for. But this is also something I stand for. I would not stand for somebody else going through this. And Fritz's hatred is never forever. And if you're grown in this way where you think carrying remorse or hatred for this long time and using it as an icebreaker or busting ball is just a cheap mentality. Yep. So, just like it's clear when we're talking about it that this person operated like that, I think it's been like that with any reasonably thinking human being that I've ever had the opportunity to discuss the actions of this certain person with. But the good thing is that, end of the conversation, when all was done and sorted, and me and my friend were back on the same page, and he told me exactly how it is and what it is, and he got my back, and this is what it is, and he asked me that you really thought that your friends were your losers, right? I mean, he said it in Urdu. He said you really thought that your friends were the C word. So I was like, bro, I didn't want it to be like that, but I mean, it was coming off like. But I was hoping not. Like I know that even in all this time that I had my space, that 2 or 3 of people, and I named them, including him, in my group, were people I'd want to reconnect with, and people and I maybe needed time and space to sort my shit out. But for these other person, especially this other person, I was very sure I'd already learned my lesson with him. Don't need no more of that.
Just fortified their structures.
So what I learned is, to be honest, I'm actually surprised. I'm surprised that I'd sort of slightly given up hope on anybody from my past holding up to the current standards that I have for anybody I want to be associated with, especially as a friend. So I am pleasantly surprised that when we conversated, my friend and me, we were on the same page about this, and I learned that I still have a friend, which feels good, because at some point, at some point, if it's always them, then it's actually always. Then it's always been you, Like if there's a guy who's like, no girl likes me, like not even one, then the chances are there's something wrong with the guy than more likely with every single girl on the planet. So it's not that I ever felt insecure in myself, but what I was either about to wrap up this whole chapter of my life and just go like, it's been okay, it's been the right decision. I still feel like it's been the right decision because there was enough impact from these negative things at that the lowest point of my life that I couldn't really tell where that negativity was coming from amongst this whole group. So I isolated that. But it's good to know that 7 years have passed, and you know there has been a friend, two or three, that have stood the test of time. When they hear my name, they're as excited as they would be when 7 years ago I would, or 6 years, 8 years ago, I would come back from the US and we would get like 2 weeks to meet. And I'm actually looking forward to this now a lot. I'm very happy about this.
This way.
And I'm also happy that um, I've decided not to
Let's pay back.
see. I only keep a few friends. When I say you're a friend, when I say SF is a friend, or when I say this guy is my friend, the reason I say it is because now that I've said it, it means that I can go like, you know what, I'll let it be. Then it means that I owe these relations a conversation when there is one needed. That I can't just bottle stuff anymore. And before you bring it up, you were the last person I have put through this. You've been the last victim of me
Radiant
bottling up
structures have been
my
secured.
shit
Your middle tower is not doing
and not
well.
and not releasing it. And that's not been on purpose though. But after that, I've actively made sure that where it matters, with the people that it matters, I really hope and actively try to never bottle things up anymore.
Denying your middle tower.
I don't know when I learned it as a defense mechanism, as a coping mechanism, or just to distance myself away, because I always felt like I always felt like that was the answer. I was like, I can't ask this person to do that. I can't help that situation. And
Don't.
the answer is always just me removing myself, because that's what I have control over. But now I've realized that it's not always the case, that sometimes, when the connect is real and you really laid out all on the table, like we said, without expectations even, to be honest, because that's how it should be. Like I tell you, that don't expect even that just because you're laying it all out, it's gonna work uh, the way you want. But at least if it will then when you at least say your side. So the decision of not bottling things up, the decision of at least saying my piece, and I'm happy to see that the right people and the people that I've wanted the most ever, it's worked with. And then it becomes a real connect. Then it becomes effortless. Then it becomes somewhere you can actually find peace. You can recharge rather than just faking, you know, um, your time somewhere.
You sure? Like it.
Bro, this guy almost killed me inside my SS. Oh, is that healing me or is that attacking
Your
me?
middle tower.
This way.
Oh, now I got this guy.
Careful.
Where'd he go? His clock.
Nice.
I also learned that if you take the right kind of diet,
Right.
you can function through a fast.
That's right.
Because I have been streaming and speaking on the phone through this.
This way. Don't get caught. Right. Right. Yeah. fool.
Crisis situation and time ends.
Nice
Yes,
one. Over here.
but very
Here, fishy, fishy.
like I feel like I've been one of I like sometimes I get like one of those guys, or I've been in the past. Probably just had to revisit that for a second. How I felt back then, like I wouldn't give myself too much importance.
Now you're talking.
But now I'm slowly learning to love myself, which would also mean that I
Right.
know that I deserve better. That the standards I
Okay.
hold for myself, I also deserve to be treated better like that, to be the recipient of standards
Right through
like
here.
that, or you know, behavior, morality, all of that.
Go on.
So that feels good now.
I see. Come on.
But yeah, it's a tough situation.
You sure? Okay. All part of the plan.
This is horse. I once told you that there is no such thing as friends or best friends, as people coexisting in a time and situation and bonding while the time and situations last.
That's
You know
right.
what? I'll tell you something funny. The guy who was the malicious guy in the situation, he told me that exact same line. When I asked him, dude, what do you even think friends are? Like, I was your friend. You used to call me one of your best friends. I knew you since kindergarten. And 7 years, back, I went through something, and you didn't even bother to ever reconnect. So you never even had a thought
You
about me,
sure?
and never even missed me. Like what? I just want to know
Right through
how your
here.
site was, because we were there. So I was like, might as well. And he said that exact same thing. And I'll tell you what. Not that you are anything close to what he is, but I'll tell you what I know for myself. I never really cared for him to know something, but
This way.
that's one type of friends. There are multiple type of friends.
Come
That's what we call a situational friend. Like I was in the US, um,
on. Right.
went to a college in New Jersey. I had a I
Okay.
was I took chemistry 101. This guy in chemistry 101 who was sitting right next to me, we became friends.
Come on.
When I went to my chemistry lab, my lab partner, she became my friend.
All part of the plan.
Semester ended, course finished. I take another course. That guy is not there. That girl is not
Right.
there. It's okay. We make new friend, new class, situational friends.
Right.
We have a good time. We talk all the time. We're discussing the lectures. We're discussing our preparations, our strategies. But semester ends. It's okay. It's gone.
I'll take that.
And
More like
next
it.
semester, the guy and the girl from the first semester joined me in another class randomly. I go to bio,
Okay.
103 or something, and um,
Yeah.
those guys are there. And now we caught up situationally. No harm, no foul. Nobody's asking why you didn't connect. We're like, oh, bro, you're here too. Oh, wow. Like, good to see you after a while. But then there are friends that you have grown up with,
Don't get
that you
caught.
actually connected well with, and you made plans about life
Yeah.
with. And now that you've grown up and gone to different places, you talk every once in 6 months, 1 year
All
sometimes, unless you're
through here.
closer. And they're there, semester or
That's
not,
right.
they're still there. Maybe it could be somebody from school, somebody from your neighborhood, um, somebody from your family, maybe a cousin, or maybe some other
Good.
friends you made from somewhere that you went through certain walk of life, and you're still in touch
Nice one.
for all those years. And it becomes a little different then. When they have children, when they have
Now
families,
you're talking.
you could still, catch up. You don't have to talk all the day, every day. But when somebody goes through something tough, maybe some of those days you talk a little more. You ask them about how
Uh-huh.
they're doing a little more, how their family is doing a little more, if they need anything a little more, if they're going, something like
Right
that.
through here.
So there are different kinds of friends, and
We got
you
to
could
go
even be
like
friends
this.
with your parents, when you're old enough. Sometimes you become friends with your parents. Sometimes I make friends in Rotary. They're a different kind of friend. So it really depends on what kind of friendship it is. And not all friendships are situational. There are friendships that you make in life that are more longer lasting. Not all friendships are even meant to end. Not all friendships are just for a short while.
Yeah.
So there are different kinds of friendships. Or like, let's say, maybe, in my case, I'm also really good friends with my wife. Now that's a friendship that's there to stay for as long as, we're blessed to be together. Hopefully for a whole lifetime and more. Ooh. The axe just walked in and he still caught them and he still didn't use the blade mail and he still got them. That was epic. So I don't disagree with what you're saying. All I'm saying is that is one type of friends. And longer friends, you don't even have to be in the same walk of life. You don't have to be in the same country, same place, nothing. It's never about how often you hang out together every single day. It's always about how deep the connect is, and you will understand that. And I can tell you that because it's not my first time actually being AWOL from my friends for a good 7 years. And I still have a friend out of it who happened to feel the same way that I did all this time, even when we're not in touch. Fits with the horse. If that's the way, then every person who stays along with you and keeps seeing each other is friend. No, 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 no. Because I just give you the example of this one motherfucker. he deserved this one, and I've known him since kindergarten. He's probably the person. He's probably the longest known friend to me that I know that is still alive. But the friend of mine who passed away, he was also from my kindergarten. This one is from my kindergarten. There's another one, but there is there is something up with him that he can be treated on the same levels of responsibility. Slightly more, I guess, innocent, but you could also say slightly a little slower.
Yeah.
So but this guy is horrible, man. Wouldn't call him a friend on my worst day, because I know he's not.
That's right.
So it's never about how much time has passed. One of my friends, I was friends with him since 7th grade to last year. And that is how many years? That is almost maybe somewhere around 2005. 5, 9, 11. Yeah, exactly 2005 to 2024. And I had only met him in my school for a period of 6 months, after which he dropped out. And we just became friends for life. There were times when we used to meet a lot. There were times when we were not in the same country and never even spoke for a couple of years. But, till we split apart for some valid reasons.
Grief and madness.
Your top tower has fallen.
Princess friendship is a very complicated thing for me, but I get your point. I completely agree with you. So is for me. But once you figure it out, then it won't be the complication that will, be a problem. It will just be clarity of what's supposed to be going out in a friendship, what's supposed to be coming in.
You sure?
And then when you make friendship on that level of equality,
Don't get caught.
you will probably, hopefully, have, good friendships, or whether they come out from the past or the future and the present, but hopefully more from the present or the future, because
Right through
I've
here.
salvaged in totality my past and I've come up with one friend from there. It's all summed up in one guy.
Okay.
Okay, so I may not understand friendships, but I know that I won't treat someone badly that he's belittled. Exactly.
I see.
So when you know the kind of person you want to be,
Right.
you stop looking for validation outside of you, which is what most people are looking for from friendships.
Over here.
So, don't rush it. They say that Um,
More like
Love comes to you when you are looking for it the least, not when you're looking for it the most. Similarly, when you're ready,
this way.
it will come by. You just focus on and work on getting yourself ready for it,
Upon you.
for whatever it is that you're going for. Right? Like, think of it for like when we try to apply for a job. I just thought of
Yeah.
this. We don't first find a job that we're suitable for. Like, I'm not going to be in seventh grade and go to a chemical engineering, firm and go like, hey, does this suit me? And go like, nah, this doesn't fit me. Rather, I'll first
That's
prepare for
right.
it, right? I'll go through my school, I'll go through my college, get a degree, on and on.
Nice
And then
one.
I'll apply for it and maybe I'll find it, maybe not. But then first I have to be ready to make it happen.
Right.
Same as with friendship. Same as with personal growth and working and healing, and
Good.
being ready for something on an emotional, on a physical, spiritual, every kind of level that your being exists in, that you first get ready for
Yeah.
the position that you need to, be a choice for. You first get in a position of where you can get it.
All part
And
of
then
the
when you're ready for
game.
it, then it will not happen. But if it will happen, it will happen
Yeah,
then.
fishy, fishy. It's all part of the plan.
Burn, baby, burn.
And knowing you, I know that as a person, you get solid growth. The way you look at things is really good. The way your self awareness is really great. Your
Yeah.
critical thinking, or your depth is great. But
Right.
it's just a little bit of healing, you need, and a little bit of putting yourself out there
All
that needs
part
to
of the
happen.
plan.
And you may find a friend before that or after that, let's
More
say
like
in
it.
this case, but don't let something good in your life go by because you were not ready for it. Imagine, um,
That's right.
I imagine I was, selected for something really great, and if I had the skills for it, I
Yeah.
could have capitalized on that opportunity, but I wasn't. But I could have been. So
Illusion.
don't be that guy. Don't be not ready on what you could have been ready
Right
for.
through here.
At least work on what's in your hand, the things that you know, rather than waiting for a situation to come by and you not fit it.
I'll be out of this. Come on.
What is going on? I'm just going around killing people.
He's a beatdown. I'm under attack. Don't get caught. Nice one. Change of plans.
Killing spree, killing spree, killing spree. Be cowardly.
This way. Yeah. Yeah. Food?
Chris, do you think people who play Dota are more human than the ones who are not exposed to regular toxicity? Interesting question. Chat, weigh in on this. What do you guys think? And let me think too. Do you think people who play Dota are more human than the ones who are not exposed to regular toxicity? I think not. I mean, in general, not just Dota, but I think gaming does give you a certain kind of exposure. And when we were younger, there was this notion that gaming is not good; it's a waste of time from people who didn't know about what kind of exposure you're getting. But amongst other things, you're talking to people from different countries on the regular. You're interacting with so many different situations, thinking on your feet. Um, all this, I think, does allow you to expand your mind rather than somebody who's just not into the gaming verse. So I think it's not just Dota, but gaming in totality, or the fact of being a gamer that allows you to learn about many things, about humans and otherwise.
Oh, this is going swimmingly.
And I guess because you experience in specifically the question that you put forward, because you experience a lot of unfiltered
We got ribbon
um,
innovation.
communication. It's not for everybody, but if somebody wants to take something positive out of it, they will. And if they want to take something negative out of it, I think it's a free choice, but there is an opportunity there to take something positive out of it. Like with our community, we've got so many people from so many different countries, and we're learning about them. Definitely makes us more human, right? On a global scale. Now we think of our Filipino friends as you know we can empathize better because I know when you know somebody from there like that, you can really empathize more. When I know somebody from India, I'm not just gonna buy into this notion of just total hate and politics and all, or when I know somebody from KPK or Sindh or Punjab or Albania or any of the other countries. So it does increase your exposure to humanity in totality, the fact of gaming. So I think, yeah, it does increase your exposure like that. But of course, if somebody just wants to take bad things out of it, just keep on spewing hate, I don't think they'll be much different than somebody who's spewing hate in
I'll take
reality in their life.
don't get caught.
If you think about it, people who are in bad work environments, they also go through regular toxicity, probably
Right.
much more directed towards them with much less space to actually evade it, and are much more pressed to sometimes put up with it for the sake
Nice
of
one.
money, paycheck, and all of that, and have a less choice and less freedom to protect
Careful
themselves.
here.
So sometimes, maybe in intensity on the ground level, they might experience even more toxicity, but then again, maybe not as unfiltered. But in Pakistan, I mean, I think even workplace toxicity is pretty bad.
Part of the plan.
Like the kind of treatment that would,
Your tongue.
yeah, it would hurt your dignity, right? If like your boss is cursing at you in front of the clients or the customers or the people, and I have seen that happen to people, especially when I was a trainer. I saw that with me, that because they knew that okay, I was I'd come from America and stuff like that. They were nicer to me, but the local trainers sometimes they come late and these guys are cursing the shit out of them even in front of me, and I am getting embarrassed for it because like really it's humiliating somebody, and I don't know how dynamics work. Sometimes you also see the other side of it, and you see like if they won't deal such crude with some of these people, they actually treat these people back even worse, or they take their jobs even just horribly lightly, and it's just a dynamic equilibrium of how they're making things work. But it shouldn't be like that. I don't think I can justify being like that. If you don't like somebody on the job the way they're working, just maybe at some point after some mornings, just let them be rather than humiliate somebody. And the way that they know that they kind of deserve it or they don't have that love or dignity for themselves, they would sometimes be even, having a smile or just brushing these things
Still
off.
won't
But
do.
yeah, it is what it is, right?
Alright.
A certain amount of toxicity does help you develop thicker skin, which is good for everybody. But as long as you have the choice for it, it's not like you're forced for it or to it. It's not like you're trapped in it. So somebody's like, oh, the paycheck is so good and it would slightly take a cut and I could go to a better place, but I'd rather be
Come
here
on.
in this competitive corporate environment with this toxicity that I get.
You sure?
Almost like bacteria, right? That we develop antibodies for something, and same way, when you're going through regular toxicity, either you can develop antibodies for it,
Don't get
immunity to it in a way that you grow a thicker skin but don't lose yourself in it.
come on.
Or sometimes people can control how these things, like a double-edged thing, like hate or any other negative emotion, turns them pretty solid toxic too. How is he just disappearing all this time? Bro, I can't see him.
You down there? You are
I'd like to know what you think about
that
this.
is a double kill.
I think it's very subjective how people decide to,
Right.
what people decide to do with these situations that they've been given.
That is a triple kill.
Oh, I played with Flopson before. I know this guy.
Tower is being invaded.
Alright, it's time for us to win this game.
Your bottom tower is under attack. Gallant Radiants have fortified their structures. Your bottom tower is under attack. The tale of your bottom tower has ended. Your middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures have been secured. Something wicked at your middle tower.
Yeah. Yeah. Right through here.
Tough luck, Dark Anchovy.
It's been a while since I played with Jimmy. Feels
Time has
fun.
dispensed with Roshan.
You are unstoppable.
Lion
You
has
cannot
my eyes.
be stopped. That's what I
Back
mean.
into the fray. middle tower is under attack. Your middle tower needs demise.
Monster kill.
Your middle tower is not doing well. Something wicked at your middle tower. Your middle tower is under attack. So ended the story. Your middle barracks crave your attention. Your middle barracks have fallen. Your middle barracks are no longer. Your bottom tower is being invaded.
Escape. That was easy when you've broken out of dark reef. Go on.
That's a double kill.
That's right. You took the bait. Here, fishy, fishy. Come on.
Dire just fortified their structures. Radiant has reinforced their structures.
Go on.
The enemy's middle tower was torn down.
Don't get caught.
The enemy's middle barracks were destroyed. Dire has secured their structures.
Killing spree.
Free again.
I go back. Time for more fight. Oh shit, I've died back.
Long live the queen, the real queen.
A spot of trouble at your top tower. A spot of trouble at your top tower. Back. Something wicked at your middle tower. Your middle tower is fallen.
Disease, I'm the cure.
So ended the story of your middle tower. Dire victory.
Well played. Man, I'm thirsty. Huge shout out to Lifestealer for getting MVP award. Shout out to Lena and Kez for getting honorable mentions. Alright, guys, I think on that note, we'll finally call it a stream and take a little break, rest, refresh, recover, hopefully come back after our fast is opened up. After we're done eating some, I think we're gonna have a good stream today too. Today, all I gotta do later is some family time. Oh shit, I actually got one more thing to do. But once we get that done, we'll be back for a lot more fun. Take care of yourselves, love all of you, and see you all very, very soon.